All right. So you might have heard me talking about setting boundaries, and I cannot stress how important this is so that you can really start to feel like an individual, stand on your own 2 feet, really start to physically, neurologically, and emotionally disconnect in a healthy way from your spouse. So you're really transforming your relationship. You're not severing it completely ever if you have kids. So you also want to set boundaries in a way that's healthy, not just for yourself, but also isn't emotionally damaging or feeling really uncomfortable to your spouse. So that might sound inconsistent, but the key to doing that is to do it in a way that is compassionate for what your spouse is struggling with as well, but then to be consistent. If you think back to when you were trying to make the decision to get divorced, you probably found that if you just like had an argument and said, "Hey, this is over, we're getting divorced," that your spouse would pick up the next day and kind of act like nothing had happened, that the storm was over. If we just go back to our normal routines and patterns, then you're going to forget that you wanted a divorce. And ultimately, if you were that person saying that you wanted a divorce, I am sure you can relate to just getting angrier and more resentful, more frustrated. So being unheard in that way just ramps up those negative emotions. And that's really what we're trying to avoid. So when you set boundaries, you're not like cold turkey, no longer speaking to your spouse. You are being very forthright about the need for boundaries, why they're there, and really honest with your spouse that, hey, it is not because we are getting divorced. It is because I am very deliberately and very consciously trying to set new boundaries for ourselves so that we can move forward in a healthy way. And you can say that really very simply. You usually only need to say it once. I recommend, when you decide to do this, you send an email or a text message to your spouse saying, "Hey, I've decided to really follow through with what Regina said or whoever in trying to set some boundaries so that we can adjust to this new reality." It's really as simple as that. You are adjusting to a new reality. So I don't think we should ignore each other. I want us to still be able to, be friendly or cordial at the very least at the beginning. And here's what I propose. If there's something that comes up during the week, you can let me know, but just understand I'm not going to respond until Saturday morning. And that way, your spouse knows ahead of time that you are carving out space for yourself, that you are not going to deal with this divorce every single day. You've got to give yourself time to really feel like you're you, feel some peace and really calm in your soul and your spirit. And dealing with your divorce every day does not allow that to happen. So you're going to carve out that time. You're going to acknowledge that your spouse contacted you. And if they are not respectful of that boundary and they, keep pushing, I've sometimes have like, oh, I said that, but they call and call and call. Well, then you feel assertive enough to take control of the situation. You turn off your phone, okay? Or you turn off notifications from your spouse. You can even say to them, "Hey, I'm sorry that you're stressing. I really can't deal with this today. I'm turning off notifications." And it's as simple as that, but it takes practice. So it's not like a complicated process that you're going through, but it's that practice, it's that repetition. So compassionate consistency, where if they are hounding you, not respecting that boundary, you don't lash out as much as you might want to. You don't engage substantively, which is you don't talk to them about the issue. You kind of stick to the message. Even if you respond the same way over and over again, you send multiple texts, do it 2 or 3 times that say the same thing. "I'm sorry, I will talk about this on Sunday." I'm sorry. We will talk about this on Sunday. And then you really just stick to the plan. And I promise you, it will even out and those boundaries will get to feel more and more normal. So, compassionate consistency is the name of the game when setting healthy boundaries that don't increase resentment and anger from the other side.